Andrew Fillum. Look, I had to start it off like that because this is my first time ever using the nickname that I have given him, which I revealed to y'all, I believe it was last week or maybe a week and a half ago on my community tab, and everybody pretty much received it fairly well. So this is the first time I have spoken about Andrew Fillum since his little debacle. Well, not so little, to be quite honest. It probably would have blew up a little bit more if it wasn't for the Wuhan. But he has now penned this open letter to black men to support him in his time of need. I wonder if this is all a part of the rehab process. When I saw that, I said, okay, Andrew, we see what you're trying to do. I doubt it will work, but I guess you can try this, but I highly doubt anybody's going to receive it like you want people to do so. So I'm actually going to skip around a little bit in this article and just go right down to the part where he gets to the letter. It says, it was precisely that type of news coverage that prompted the penning of an open letter to Fillum, black men, and the media in an effort to encourage support for the former mayor and his family, and at the same time be our brother's keeper and be the change in which we seek. No one is irredeemable, wrote Preston Mitchum and Michael Seabury in the open letter that published on Monday afternoon, and invited other black men to sign. Now, that Preston Mitchum is another blue check Negro who is a part of the Alphabet Academy. And I don't know, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, there's another person I follow on Twitter. His name is Taureanreign Walker. Now, he has a blue check, but he's one of the few, and I do mean small few, of people who has a blue check that I can actually vibe with. I can actually have conversation with him without having to, be like, what are you talking about? And all this type of stuff. And he went at Taureanreign Walker on Twitter today. Well, by the time you see this video, it'll be a couple of days ago. Now I'm seeing his name here, and then I'm seeing the article, and I'm wondering, is that the same? Is the back and forth that they had with each other, does that pertain to this? And I think that it does. Now, based on the tweets in the exchange that I did see between the two of them, Taureanreign Walker was basically talking to Preston Mitchum about something, and then, of course, in true Alphabet Academy fashion, he had to turn the whole thing into black men not supporting the Alphabet Academy and all this type of this, that, and the third. I keep telling you, the black males in particular in that academy, the black women too, but specifically the black men in that academy, tried their best to do the shaming language tactic onto black heterosexual men, saying, well, if we don't support the Alphabet Academy, then you don't support black people, period. As if they're the leaders of black people, as if they are at the forefront of everything. We know that many of you are loud and flamboyant and as colorful as a Skittles bag and as boisterous as Billy Porter, but that doesn't mean you're leading anything. And then when Taureanreign went back at him, then that's when he tried to accuse him of being this and that phobic, and the whole spill. They never changed that tune. They never vary from the script. But then when when people saw that exchange, they went at Preston Mitchum in his comment section because he knew he messed up by trying to flip the script on him. They know that their little mission has no legs unless we give them legs or give them the validation that they need to move. And as long as we don't give it to them, they can't move that much. Because see, unlike the palm colored part of the academy, the other side of it, they don't have that push behind them like they would want. They don't have that engine, that drive to really, I guess you can say, not push them over the edge, but at least get them close to it. Because let's be real here, they're not going to go over it. They may not reach it, but they'll get close. And because we don't give them the life that they want, then they throw all these shaming language things toward us. I wonder where they got that from. But let me continue. The letter came 2 days after explicit images purportedly from inside the hotel room showed a nude man resembling Fillum lying on the floor with his head on a pillow next to what looked like to be vomit. Conservative tabloid The Daily Mail followed that by publishing photos and also said were from inside the hotel room, showing the alleged drugs that emergency responders said they found after arriving. The initial coverage was shocking enough when a breaking news report from the Miami News Times on March 13th carried the headline, Andrew Fillum involved in alleged crystal meth incident in Miami Beach. That was quickly followed by conservatives claiming without proof that Fillum and two other men inside the room at the time when authorities responded to a call about a possible drug overdose were participating in an alleged drug-fueled sexual tryst. That in turn prompted Fillum to quickly release a statement apologizing for his behavior, which he blamed on drinking too much. But by the end of the week, the graphic photos were made public. Now, I've seen people who have drank a lot, but never have they ended up in rather compromising positions such as the one Andrew Fillum was in. That man was doing more than just drinking. I'm telling you, he was probably taking some of that meth as well, and engaged in a whole bunch of other debaucherous activities. Mitchum, an adjunct professor of law at Georgetown Law Center, who describes himself as an unapologetically black and queer civil rights advocate, public speaker, writer, and professor, told Newsone in an email Monday night that all media has a role to play. But he cautioned, white mainstream media, in particular, must be careful in how it displays black people and our bodies isn't something they often are forced to do. Seabury, a high school science teacher and advisor in Clay County, Georgia, and Mitchum also used the letter to appeal to black men to be more supportive of each other in their times of need. Now we're going to get into the letter. Fellow black men, allow this letter to be a reminder that we too must be allowed the space to explore, mess up, reevaluate ourselves, and become anew, the letter earnestly says in part. Unfortunately, the world often decides our fate based upon our trials, while white men are regularly afforded myriad opportunities and space to fail. Failure often backed by a system that protects them and incentivizes this dangerous cycle. We have the power to change that. Later, the portion of the letter reserved for the media held no punches. We should not be shocked that you, the media, will fetishize a black life for clickbait, likes, and shares for anything. The letter says in part, black life in moments of pain and terror has long been delectable to the American palate. Now, let me stop right there. This person who penned that letter was the same person I was just telling you about who was having that back and forth with Terrain Walker on Twitter. This is coming from the same community that loves to say that black heterosexual men are the most homophobic. We don't include them. We bash them. We are the reason why so many of the people in the T class are dead and all types of stuff. But now they need our help. Doesn't this remind you of the live stream I just did about that blue check female who tried to say black men need to donate more sperm to same-sex L-class couples so they can have a pro-black baby or whatever it was that she said in that stupid tweet. So look at what the Alphabet Academy is doing right now in this instance. Black men, I hope you're hearing the sound of my voice right now. They only need us to push something or to gain something. And then when they're done, we're discarded again and treated like yesterday's garbage. I would not fall for this, and I hope you don't either. They are on their own. They can hold their own nuts. And as far as I'm concerned, they've been holding each other's nuts for quite some time now. It says, again, going forward, while acknowledging that Fillum's incident was newsworthy because he is a public figure, the letter argued that coverage should not be done in such a salacious way, in the terrorizing of black life must not be the primary entree. Sharing photos of Mayor Fillum's naked body, especially in such a vulnerable state, is inexcusable and triggering to a community that has seen our own bodies fetishized and or slain amongst the nation, from the lynching tree to Main Street. Quite frankly, we are so sick of seeing black bodies become a call to fame and the subject of your headlines. But you know what's so crazy? In this whole letter that this Preston Mitchum wrote, not one time did he acknowledge that Andrew Fillum was dead wrong for what he did. He did not one time. I can go back through here and just scroll through and see that not once did he say that Andrew Gillum was wrong for what he did. Wrong for one, lying to his family, even though many people think that his wife knew about his lifestyle. But let's play devil's advocate and say that she didn't know. Lying to his wife. Now this is going to affect his children. They're young now, but this is going to follow them. You know, the internet is undefeated. Once it's out there, it's out there. It stays there. He basically embarrassed his state, at least the county in which he represents. Like, he's not going to come back from this. He's not going to have a Marion Barry moment. I hate that they had to bring him into this. I hate they had to bring Marion Barry into this. One, the man's dead. And two, he didn't go this far. And based on the pictures that I have seen of Andrew Gillum really close to other men, y'all saw the picture on my community tab. I let y'all be the judge. Something tells me he was already into the funny business way before this even happened. The fact of the matter is he put himself in this position. I would say he was, I'm gonna be petty right quick. I would say he was very open, but, well, you know, that probably did happen. But at the same time, he was too trusting, and he allowed this to happen. He has no one to blame but himself. And the person who wrote this letter did not one time acknowledge that Andrew Gillum, he didn't even mention or say that he made a mistake. He could have at least said that. He didn't even say that. I will not be the olive branch to Andrew Fillum and his BS. And I hope that many of you will not be either. Because like I said, this is the same community that loves to say that we are homophobic. We are transphobic. Remember the whole Genuine situation. They tried to tell us that, or say that Genuine was wrong because he didn't want to flirt or kiss that biologically born man pretending and masquerading to be a woman. This is the same community that said that, and a host of other things. And they had other but institutions in place that have blocked them from doing certain things. But it was 44, a seemingly black man, who gave them some of their biggest rights. And they still speak ill about black men as if we put stuff on the books to keep them from doing whatever it is they want to do. Because we are the canary in the coal mine. We are always the first target. To them, we are the soft target. We are the first target. No more will we be used as your punching bag or as your target practice. Let's see here. It says the incident at the Miami Beach Hotel was indeed newsworthy based on those facts alone. However, as the letter states, that is no reason to try and humiliate someone and capitalize on their resulting vulnerability for doing something that only he and the two other men in the hotel room know what really happened. Basically, they're trying to give him cover. And the thing is, Andrew Fillum is not some random person. He's a public figure, and a political public figure at that ran for a major position. What was it? A couple years ago. Just imagine if he made it and became the governor. This would have been even more big. This would have been even more huge. They would have made him step down for sure. I'm almost certain of it. In the meantime, local authorities announced they are reviewing how the police report and photos leaked to the media, the lone potential criminal investigation associated with the incident that cops decided against any charges for Fillum and the other men inside the hotel room. Black men in particular are encouraged to read the open letter and sign it to support Fillum and other black men. Notice they only have this up here because Andrew Fillum was involved with what we can clearly see is some Alphabet Academy atrocities. Now, had this been anybody else, I bet you if this was back in the day, they wouldn't have did this for Marion Barry. I'm almost certain of it. I'll give them that. They will protect their own, but they will protect debauchery. What occurred in that hotel room based on them pictures and the details we have heard so far, that was some debaucherous behavior. I can't get that image out of my head. I saw it on Tariq's Instagram page before he took it down, or before Instagram made him take it down, and I still can't get it out of my head. It was like 4 different pictures, and like, man, It looked like it would look like a porn set gone rough. No pun intended. And I'm almost tempted to read this letter, but I don't know if I really want to read it, because I know it's going to be some BS. Just by looking alone, or just reading the first parts alone, I can already see there's going to be no kind of accountability. But what I might do is I might leave the link to the letter there in case y'all want to read it, but it just tells me it's going to be a bunch of BS. And I've already dealt with enough BS for the week. I don't need any more as of right now. But something tells me some more stuff is going to come up. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on. And I will talk to you in the next one.